Hey, this is Mr. Mola for lesson 2-2, solving inequalities using addition and subtraction. So we'll see on this first page. So you people at home, I'll let you decide if you want to try and go through this. I'll probably go through it in class and everyone will get confused, especially if you don't understand football. But this is just a cool activity to kind of see what is possible and what's not possible. So kids at home, I'll let you try it. If you get confused, maybe just skip it. I don't think it's too important there, but just how this can be used when we're talking about something like football. All right, so let's look at some of these example problems here. So we need to solve each inequality. So just like last time, we're going to do the opposite of what it said. So we're going to draw our line down our inequality sign this time. It says x plus 3 is less than 4. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. 3 from 3 is 0. 4 minus 3 is 1. So x can be any number less than 1, and that still makes it true. And just like last time, we can always double check this to make sure. So a number less than 1, let's say 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 is less than 4, so we know it works. Same thing with b over here. I'm going to add 3 to each side. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. 5 plus 3 is 8. So I need a number greater than or equal to 8. Let's pick a number like 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. 7 is greater than or equal to 5, so we know it works. Here, what they did is flip around where the x is, and we'll kind of talk about that in a second when we're done, but that's kind of important. So I have x minus 2, so same thing. I'm going to add 2 to each side. 2 plus 4 is 6. So I get 6 is greater than x. So it might be confusing for some of you to read it like that, where 6 is greater than x. We could flip it around. So notice how the less than sign is pointing towards the x and the greater than sign is pointing towards the 6. So if you are going to flip it around, it should be the same thing. So the less than sign is pointing towards the 6. The greater than sign is pointing, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. The less than sign is pointing towards the x, and the greater than sign is pointing towards the 6. Okay, so some people just like to rewrite it and they just flip the x and the 6 around, but you also kind of have to flip the sign around too then. So these both mean the same thing. 6 is greater than x, or you could say x is less than 6. Both of those mean exactly the same thing. Here we got x plus 1, so I'm going to subtract 1. So I get negative 3 is less than or equal to x, or same thing if I want to write it where the x is first. I'm going to flip my sign around. So the bigger sign is pointing towards the x. The less than sign is pointing towards the negative 3. So I'm going to flip it around. So I could say negative 3 is less than or equal to x, or I could say x is greater than negative 3. Both are fine. Doesn't matter which one you pick. I think having the variable first really helps, but that's just Mr. Molo. All right, let's look at some more where we're going to have to graph them now. So here we want to solve the inequality and then graph the solution. So kind of the same thing. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Add 3 to both sides. That cancels. I get x is less than negative 1. And when you're graphing things, same thing as on a test, I want to see at least 2 points on your graph. I at least want to see where 0 is. So I'm just going to put 0 in the middle. And I want to see where your answer is. Okay, so this way I know that your answer is on either the correct side of 0 or the incorrect side of 0. So here I'm going to put negative 1 to the left of 0 because that's where it belongs. It is just a less than sign, so it's an open circle. And numbers less than negative 1 go this way, like negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, all those over there. So make sure you at least have your 0 on your graphs for quizzes and tests, and you at least have your answer on there. You don't need anything else, but I at least want to see those 2. All right, same thing here. It's a negative 3, so I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Okay, so I have 0 is greater than h. I don't like how that's written, so I'm going to flip it around. So h is less than 0. So I'm going to change it like that for me. Okay, so h is less than 0. So I need numbers less than 0, open circle, not a closed circle because there's no line underneath it, and numbers less than 0 end up going this way to the left side then. All right, let's Let's look at another one. This one can get kind of tricky because you have the minus a negative. So remember that minus and negative just turns into one big plus sign. So s plus 1, so I'm going to minus 1. So s is greater than or equal to 2 minus 1 is 1. So I'm going to put a 0 here, and 1 would go to the right of 0. Any numbers greater than or equal to 1. So filled in circle now because I have that line underneath it. And numbers greater than 1 end up going to the right, like 2, 3, 4, 5, all those numbers over there. All right, 4 gets a step harder here because now we have to simplify and combine our like terms here. So I have 6 minus 9 is negative 3 plus u is less than negative 2. So kind of a step before then. Since it's a negative 3, I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Negative 3 plus 3 is going to cancel. So I'm left with u, and then negative 2 plus 3 is a positive 1. So I'm going to put my 0 on my number line. I'm going to put my positive 1 on my number line. It's just a less than sign, so it's an open circle, and numbers less than 1 go to the left, like 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. All right. Number 5. So same thing, we got something to simplify here. So I have 4c minus 3c, just is left with 1c, plus 10. So it's a plus 10, so I'm going to end up minusing 10. Minusing 10. 12 minus 10 is 2. So I end up with 2 is less than or equal to c. Again, I don't like it when the variable is not first, so I'm going to flip that around. So c is greater than or equal to 2. So I'm going to put a 0 on my graph, and I'm going to put, there's a 1, there's a 2, so I'm going to put a 2 to the right of it. Since it's a filled in circle, because it's a greater than or equal to, and numbers greater than 2 are numbers like 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're all over there. All right, last one like this. We got a couple things that we need to simplify here first. So I have a 15 minus 7p plus 8p. So I'm going to get this minus 7p plus 8p together. So negative 7 plus 8 is just p. And then 15 minus 2 is 13. And I got a plus 15, so I'm going to end up subtracting 15. So I get p is greater than negative 2. Since I kind of used that number line over there, I'm going to put my 0 way over here this time. That would be negative 1, that would be negative 2. It's a greater than sign, not an equal to sign, so I'm going to do a open circle. Numbers greater than 2 go to the right, like negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, all those numbers. All right, number 7, last one. You have $15 to spend on groceries. You have $12.25 worth of groceries already in your cart. Create an inequality that shows how much more money that you can spend on groceries. So we have M, and we have $12.25 worth of groceries in our cart. And we can spend $15 because that's how much we have. So now we need to figure out the sign. So we can't spend more than $15 because that's how much we need for groceries. So the 15 has to be the most that we can spend, but we can also spend exactly $15. So it's going to be a less than or equal to sign. So M plus $12.25 has to be less than or equal to $15. We can't spend $15 and 1 cent because we don't have $15 and 1 cent. All we have is $15. And then down here they want us to solve that. I'm going to rewrite it so we can solve it. So it's a plus $12.25. So I'm going to subtract $12.25. So I'm left with M has to be less than or equal to $2.75. So I can put, most I can put is something that costs $2.75 in the cart. Have a good day.